How long until Team Green has any chance of taking back King's Landing?
I think Otto Hightower was a good hand to the king. Do you?
And if Larys is the last of the Strongs, does that mean he has to change his last name?
We'll answer all those questions and answer your feedback on this episode of
The Joffrey of Podcasts.
I've been very busy. Many important matters require a king's attention.
I'm king now. King now.
I am king. I am king. I am kiss it. I am kiss it again when I return.
Your fingers or your
King doesn't
fingers
discuss
or your
battle
tongue.
plans.
Each one,
Stupid
your
girls.
fingers or your tongue.
I am the king.
I'm telling mother.
Welcome to the Joffrey of Podcast. My name's Bubba, and with me, as always, is someone who I'm unaware that it is required at this moment or any his thoughts. It's Catfish.
Bubba, it is a pleasure to work with a guy who, when he makes mistakes, reminds people, hey, it's everyone's fault, okay?
Adam came too, man. Guys, we're going to be breaking down episode 2 of season 3 of House of the Dragon. This episode is titled Queen's Landing. Get it?
Whoa, spoiler alert.
Hey, we're going to play our classic match game. We are going to talk about the characters, decide which team we're on. Team Black, which is kind of riding high outside of a couple big losses, or Team Green, which feels to be riding pretty low. Catfish, you really loved, like you said last week, the premiere of season 3 is going to be your favorite episode of the entire season. What is your rating for episode 2?
Well, Bubba, it's still my favorite episode of the season out of 2.
Okay.
But I am surprised that this episode came in strong enough for me that I gave it 9 out of 10 double C's.
Wait, double C's?
Yeah, double C's is what we call chase cutting. Like, hey, cut to the chase. And you know what they did? They cut to the chase. Obviously, this was not going to be an action-packed episode like it was last week. But holy cow, a lot of things happened. We got the queen back in Queen's Landing.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Aemon is just seems to be out for the count. I mean, yeah, right. He's got his boys, Crispin Cole and the boys come to help him. He's got Alice there now. Alice, she loves the blondes. So something could be going on there. But hey, you know what? You know who else is coming to Harrenhal? A bunch of people who don't like Aemon and don't like Sir Crispin Cole. I'm going to call him Crispin Cole. And so, look, we totally changed the dynamic this week. And so, we'll see now what happens in these episodes, in the coming episodes, whether there's going to be a lot of rising action or there's going to be a lot of table setting before some sort of denouement at the end of the season. But Bubba, I really like this episode. Strong first episode, strong second episode, according to Catfish. What about you, Bubba? What did you think about Queen's Landing?
I think you saying them cutting to the chase and the pace being good, I think I 100% agree. Last season, remember all those episodes of Daemon having his vision quest in Harrenhal and how it seemed to go on forever?
Yes.
I am knocking on anything that looks like wood that we're not going to live through that again. I'm not going to give it as high a rating as you did, but I am going to give this 8 triple Fs out of 10.
Well, 8, remember, this is a safe for work podcast, Bubba. Triple Fs?
Yeah, well, that's when you have father figure fatalities. We had Simon Strong and we had Otto Hightower. Both of their kids got to see their dead bodies. Whoa, really, really good episode, and I can't wait.
Well, I mean, only briefly for Simon Strong did his son have to. Simon, can't we all just get along?
You know what? I've never held a sword in all these years. Shit. Big mistake. Let me say,
is this where I'm supposed to sheath it in my own gut?
Let me say, I'm going to celebrate so much what is good about this episode.
Celebrate.
But why did I jump from a 9 down to 8?
Yeah, why did you?
There are very little minor things, which I hope only bother me. I think only bother me. They're minor things.
Okay.
But at times they drive me crazy. And that, again, they say more about me than the show. But I want to talk about some of these minor gripes right at the beginning. What do we know about evil usurper brother Tommen? He really wasn't much of a character on the original Game of Thrones until he needed to be. But like the second he needed to be a big character, suddenly, hey, we're having a bunch of scenes of Tommen.
Right?
R.I.P. Jace. Jace, you called him Jace D. Vance, insulting the dead. He gone. So who is the heir to the throne? I'm pretty sure the heir to the throne is the third strong boy, Joffrey. And remember, Joffrey's last name would be Joffrey Valerian. He is Joffrey Valerian. I'm almost positive, and I do podcasts about this show, he did not get on a boat and get sailed across the narrow sea like Daenerys' two young kids, Viserys and Aegon III. Like those kids were supposed to go with Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra didn't go, but those kids got sent across the narrow sea. I'm pretty sure Joffrey has got to be at least 10 years old and they're on Dragonstone. Yet we have no scene of him reacting to his brother's death or no scene at least admitting, hey, this guy is next in line to the throne. And again,
I can see that.
Again, it's not really that big a deal, but like this is theoretically the first time that Joffrey, the third son, is important. He is now the heir to the throne. We don't talk about it at all.
It will be big if all of a sudden he comes up and we're like, who's this guy? Where did this guy come from? So if they meet, if he's going to be important, I completely agree with you on that.
And then I think, people had complaints about Game of Thrones, certainly at the end. But remember in season 6, this is spoiler for the original Game of Thrones if you haven't seen it. Rickon
and you're watching this show.
Right. Rickon and Osha have disappeared since season 3. They weren't in season 4. They weren't in season 5. Suddenly they appear in season 6. Almost as soon as they appear, they are ceremoniously killed. Osha, especially, the woman who was watching Rickon.
She was especially killed?
No, she was like, hey, I'm going to pretend to flirt with Ramsay. Ramsay kills her with a knife he's got an apple with. Next scene. Literally is unceremoniously. Otto Hightower is a big character in this show. And yet, do you think they could only get the actor for half a day? Talk about barely appearing. He's about to die, and he's just like, he even asks the question, I guess everybody's dead. They don't really answer him. He might have heard, hey, Aegon's fled, but they don't answer him. He barely has a scene. And then somebody who we name, I promise you, the show was never said more than once. Sir Lord Jasper. He's been in these seasons. He's been in all 3 seasons. He's been in a bunch of scenes, but they don't say Lord Jasper's name. He's just a dude there on the Green Council. Suddenly, out of nowhere, he's going to assault Alicent. Where did this come? Anyway, I have these little things. They don't really take away from the overall part of the show. There's actually a couple more where I'm like, you can't set this up. You can't. Anyway, let me ignore that. And let me say that.
Okay, do that.
That this show, the plot moved forward. The plot is moving at a good pace. This is a war. People... Thank God I've never been in a war, but I know that wars, a lot of people don't stand in place unless they've been told to, like apparently Ormond Hightower was told they stand in place. Otherwise, forces a lot of times, they're guarding a border, but nobody here is guarding a border. They're getting on with it, and there's a lot of great acting, a lot of great action and forward momentum. I'm going to celebrate that for the rest, hopefully, but I have to get some of these little things off my chest right at the top. You may be saying, who the heck is this bum complaining about this great episode? Let me say, complain about me. I like saying my opinion. I like sharing it. But the one thing I like sharing everybody's opinion. If you're listening to this on YouTube, go down in those comments and tell us your thoughts on episode 2. If you're on audio podcast, you can give us written reviews on the audio platform like Apple Podcast or Spotify or all the others. Or you can reach out to us on social media at double PHQ, the word double, singular P for podcast, HQ for headquarters. We want to hear from you. And even though I went on a little mini rant about these little things that hopefully only bother me, two episodes in, this is setting up to be a great season, Catfish. Do you agree?
Just with the caveat that, we had the big turnaround. And as you mentioned last week, if you consider that they had planned to do 10 episodes last season, then we've seen the 9th episode. Yep. They're usually the great one. And then the 10th episode where there's a turnaround. And then usually there's a lot of table setting. So
Uh-oh.
we will see how much table setting and moving people around is. I mean, as I said, I think the Greens are really under fire here.
They are.
And it seems to me that they could be almost easily picked off at this point.
100%. Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, especially if our three bumps had sacrificed their lives to kill Vagar and Aemond, then series over.
Do you think Daemon should have said that? Listen, guys, you waited 2 days. My wife, your queen, wants you to wait forever to sacrifice your life so she could sit on a chair made of thrones.
Yeah. Happily, she will happily mount that throne with joy in her heart.
Hey. Once again, listeners, you tell us what you think. Because I've been so tough, let's get to what we do right at the top is we talk about the best scene of the episode, the best moment of the episode, the thing that we enjoyed the most. Catfish, you went 9 out of 10. I went 8 out of 10. We both really enjoyed it. Let's hear it. What was your favorite moment, best scene, either or, in this episode 2?
I'm telling Mother.
I mean, you know what? I mean, just right off the top, I got to say, we've had a lot of spookiness go on in the Game of Thrones universe.
Yep.
So I was most happiest by J.D. Vance being for reals dead. There was no chicanery. He was for reals dead. But on top of that, my favorite scene was Rhaenyra calling out all the suckers in the castle.
Yes.
But Bubba, I was still disappointed. Okay, yes, you're right. Okay, they all failed, blah, 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 blah. But you know how to make sure people don't fail, Bubba? Is when there's a failure, you take someone's head. And then people know if there's we all got to pitch in so that people's heads don't get cut off. So, Bubba.
Oh, boy.
First of all, he volunteered. He's like, I failed you. I'm yelling at the TV. You did. And then when she's like, everyone's to blame, I'm like, no, take his head now.
Right. Catfish, he did terribleness in the last episode. In this episode, this woman is grieving over her dead son. And he's like, no, you can't be here. Dude.
What kind of leader is he? Don't touch me. She should have beheaded him just for touching her.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And then
she should have pointed at someone else and said, I only killed him because he touched me. Now you're the one who has to pay for Jace.
Right. Now, Baela is her niece / stepdaughter. But Baela was there. Baela, she's taking her wrath out on everybody. I think Baela should have gotten some too. I mean, this is, this was a terrible, great TV, terrible tragedy in the first episode. And she should,
I wonder,
she should have cleaned house. She could have said, okay, bring in the new council, out with the old council.
Well, it is. And I wonder particularly if people are going to be upset, especially female viewers, because it's like, well, just that they show her as, indecisive and even crying when she's takes the throne. I wonder if some people are going to be like, yeah, sure. You just make all us women out to be like crying instead of badasses.
No, well, I think that is a great point. I think it is natural that a parent, if the king had cried over his son, but now that you think about it, they didn't really give us great moments of Viserys. In the very first episode of season 1, King Viserys loses his wife and his, just born son. And they didn't give us a lot of those moments of King Viserys being completely emotionally devastated and crying over his wife's body like he would have, like it would have been normal to. But you're right, the show is doing that to Rhaenyra. So
it is. I mean, when she takes the throne, she's crying when she takes the throne.
Yeah,
again, for me, it just kind of. I mean, I can understand if they're trying to, to show something, to make it different, to make it interesting. But to do that with a female character, I just wonder if there were any female viewers who were like, F you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wonder about female viewers disliking the Alicent being assaulted scene. I mean, that like I said, it felt like it came out of the blue. what did it really add to the story? I want to say almost nothing, right? Like what did it add to the story? It was another sign that Alicent needed to leave, but she was going to leave anyway. But I think, I don't know. This is questionable. If any listener, male or female, respond to Catfish's comments, I think they're pretty smart. Let me go ahead and say my favorite stuff since I've been so negative.
Do it.
For me, I don't know if there was one great scene where I was like, I love that scene, but there were a lot of great moments. In a contrast of the sadness of Jace, we cut to the Winter Wolves and the
sadness?
And the Riverlands army singing a song about slaughtering the Lannister Western forces and making them fish food. I mean, that is frigging fun. I loved it. And the show has admittedly done a poor job of explaining this, but Ulf is half brother, he's a bastard half brother to Daemon. And so finally we have a scene of Ulf and Daemon, and the first thing is Ulf going to hug Daemon, and then he's like, okay, no, it's not going to be one of those. I mean, I love that. My favorite moment in this is a small moment, but I've completely, it's like, what do you really root for? I love somebody who is successful and gets the job done. And to me, you watch this show, there is one true queen, and that is Vhagar. Vhagar lands at Harrenhal and lights everybody up. There is no mercy. She, like a lighter can only go so long. Vhagar can just go, baby. You can just say, you know what? I want this bonfire to go all night. Vhagar is wonderful. And that is so impressive that on a TV show we get to see it. I love that. That was my favorite moment in this episode.
Oh, man. Bubba?
Yeah.
I mean, that is great. I mean, Vhagar, you know what? You just know she likes open concept living.
She does. Like a lot of people, like in the backyard, you want to have a nice fire pit. She's like, why in the backyard? Why not in every room have a fire pit? Hell yeah, Vhagar, my true queen. Hey, what was your favorite moment? If you're watching on YouTube, we love it if you subscribe, like, hype, and give us comments, because this show is really about all of us talking about what we love of this great show. And when we talk about your comments, you know what that time is, Catfish.
What time is it, Bubba?
It's time for the world famous Joffrey of Podcast exclusive match game questions. Are you ready for match game question number 1?
There
you go. You ready?
Yep.
Otto Hightower was Hand of the King, yet Queen Rhaenyra offered him the position of blank. Otto Hightower was Hand of the King, yet Queen Rhaenyra offered him the position of
head on the floor.
Oh my God, Catfish. That is exactly my answer. Head
no!
On the floor. Ring the bell.
Oh
my
man.
God, you and I match. Well, let me say that sometimes on the match game, they give you questions because they want you to match them. Get ready for some great matches, listeners, because you guys really came through. I'm going to read it, Catfish. You read some of these listener answers. Otto Hightower was Hand of the King, yet Queen Rhaenyra offered him the position of
the Queen's crown holder. That's Nick Fortuna at Nicholas Fortuna.
Oh my goodness. Queen Rhaenyra offered him the position of
the pole position as House Hightower's spike ornament.
Oh.
That's Dennis Christos.
Terrible. Okay, now we're gonna have a run of these. You ready? Queen Rhaenyra offered him the position of
head of the house.
Yes.
That's Kevin Potts 123. That's pretty close, but not head on the floor, which is so good.
I know.
And Zephyr Cat says dead head of the queen.
Gen X Cat Mom said he was offered the position of headless horseman.
Unrecognized Talent said he got the position head of a major corporation.
Oh, there you go. Hey. Cam Shay 23 said he was offered the position of head of King's Landing.
Yeah, and then Hunt Pan said he was offered the position head of Spikes.
Here we go. Everybody with a head, you get a ring. Actually, everybody gets a ring. All the match game judges say these all matches. Now, Likey7 gave me one I didn't quite understand, and I did have to translate it because it was written in non-English characters. But he just said he was offered the position of Bye-bye, Grandpa.
All right. Nicole at Nightwolf Nim says he was offered the position of new throne room rug.
Well, watch where you step on that rug. It leaves a mess. Oh my goodness. Catfish. All of these. Nightwolf Nim. Nicole is a great double L. Pat, man, and Hamlet is dead. Two true. I mean, true way back machine double L's gave us two great answers. So for Pat, man, Otto was hand to the king. Queen Rhaenyra offered him the position of
Royal Sword Sharpness Tester. She had to sharpen it on his shoulder blades first. And Hamlet is dead, said he was offered the position of Dollar Shave Club spokesman.
Oh my goodness. Listeners, just listen to yourselves. You guys give the best match game answers. Forget us. R.I.P. Otto. Okay, and so with that, hey, speaking of R.I.P. Otto, let's get into our team rundowns. This is where we look at the teams, we see how they did this week and how they're doing in the war. And why don't we start there with our Otto Hightower and Team Green Catfish. I said earlier I was kind of disappointed how, barely Otto was back maybe a minute and then he's dead. Do you want to say anything? We're going to talk about Otto a lot later, but any thoughts on how he apparently was held in the Red Keep's own dungeon by Larys Strong, who we think is on Team Green?
Well, yeah, that was a little surprising. We're going to talk about him a lot later, so let's save it for that part. Let's get right into the teams now. But we got Team Black, Team Green, and we got Team Wildcard, which is just consists right now of Alice Rivers, who is gone from blonde to blonde, and we'll see. You know what? Who is going to offer her Harrenhal first?
Well, she got a man who theoretically is at least 25 to 30 years younger. He looks very similar, one less eye. What do you think's going to go on there? Now, remember, Aemon went out to Harrenhal partially to kill Daemon and find Daemon. He opens the door and he sees your boy Simon Strong and the Strong boys, and he's like, "I'm looking for Daemon." And then why do you think he kills him? Now, Daemon, he met these strong people and they said, well, we're on your side. So Daemon didn't kill Simon. Aemon does kill Simon Strong. Any particular reason other than Aemon wants a fight? Aemon wants blood? What do you think?
I mean, they were there, Bubba. They were there. This is what I was calling on Rhaenyra to do. Look, when someone's in the room and someone needs to pay, then the people in the room will pay.
That is a high price to pay. Now, was Aemon just so cocky he thinks I'm wearing armor that he didn't realize somebody could kind of prison shank him through, I guess, one of the armor plates? And he passes out on the floor saying, "Help me." Alice, you're right. She's on Team Wildcard. Or how about Team, I just want this damn castle to myself?
Team, please stop destroying the castle that I want, everybody. I mean, by the time this is over, they're going to be like, yes, all these rocks and stones around are yours.
Well, do you think she had two scenes in this episode? One of her scenes was like, Daemon, I helped you a lot last year. I, gave you these vision quests. I kind of gave you premonitions about, hey, once this Tully guy dies, I believe his grandson might be
all those things you loved, Bubba. You loved all those scenes.
Oh boy. So what do you think? I mean, she was not fuming mad, but she was really disappointed in Daemon. And now she's got somebody who is pretty powerful, has the biggest dragon in the world. She saves his life. There's nobody else, theoretically, there's only one Strong left who can claim this castle, and it was always Larys's castle, but she's in a good position to get this castle, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I think Aemon will promise her anything and then bump her off later. That's how he rolls.
Right. He'll give her the Strong treatment, if you know what I mean.
All right, Bubba. So this is it. Let's go. Come on. Let's get right to it. Stop pussyfooting around. Well, tell me who your team of the week is.
You should go Team Black because they're so high. But a lot of members of Team Black have had big L's. I mean, Corlys called it. Corlys took a big L. Jace took the ultimate L. And so I actually am going to go team wildcard. Alice wants this damn castle. Technically, after what just happened, does she have it now? Like Aemon's in no position to say, "Oh, it's my castle." He's going to be, going through surgery for gosh darn sake. So I'm team wildcard. I'm team Alice Rivers. That's me. How about you? What team are you on?
I mean, if you're not going to give the team of the week to the Blacks this week, I don't know when they're going to get it. They are in with very few losses. They took King's Landing and made it Queen's Landing. They are
Okay.
they are up, 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 up so high. They got so many dragons.
True.
Look, my team of the week last week, they all died. That was
The
my team last
triarchy. Yeah,
week.
okay.
The
So
triarchy was my team last week. So look, so who is going to we're going to talk about this later. They're so high right now. This is their week. You got to
well,
give them
I
at
gave
least
it
the
I gave it
week.
I gave it to him last week. I think what is interesting is what I want to get to, and I started talking about it. Corliss. Let me go through Team Black and say why I think this victory isn't as great as you would think. Corliss in season one, Corliss told his wife. His wife's like, those strong boys like Jace, they're not related to you by blood. And he said, listen, history remembers names. It doesn't remember blood. It remembers names. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Corliss, how many living people have the last name Valerian at the beginning of this episode? Just you and Joffrey. Every other Valerian is dead. You lost your brother. You lost your wife. You lost your two kids. You lost.
All right, so you're telling me there's 100% more than there was last week.
Right, by naming.
And that's not a win?
Okay, well, hold on. Wait a minute. 100% more. He's giving it to Alan, right? And he lost Jace. Jace had his name. Jace is dead. So did he?
No,
give
he
it to
also
Adam
gave
too?
it. Yes, he did. He
Okay,
gave it
okay,
to Adam too.
all right, okay, fair enough, fair enough. So that is a growth. Okay, fair enough. Well, let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
On team
And look, his name now.
is
He's
all he
got
has. He doesn't have a castle. It's
okay.
burned down.
All right, okay, all right, all right. But they can rebuild the ships, and his son will take over as the sea snake, and his other
Okay.
son's got a damn dragon. I
Okay.
mean, he is. You know what? Sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet,
All right.
and they got an omelet in the making.
Okay, Catfish. How about this?
Yep.
Rhaenyra, you are on top. However, somebody who really helped you get on top, Alicent, you just killed her dad. The one thing she wanted is she's like, I'm going to get you into the city with barely any bloodshed. And Alicent really did work her ass off to get you there. And in the end, by killing her dad, you have stabbed an ally in the back, or you've stabbed an ally through their bloodline by killing their dad. You killed their dad.
You stabbed an ally and their dad.
Right, exactly. She is now what heavy wears the crown, right? Like, I don't want to speak about the preview, but the preview talks about some things like there are other claimants to the throne out there. Who knows where Aegon is? She knows where Aemond is, but he's got the biggest damn dragon. She's got another brother in Daemon, who we haven't seen yet. Technically, they haven't said we've seen him yet on the show. I think there's some squish there. Her seat is not a firm seat yet on the throne. It could be next week, like she could lock up some of this stuff. But then I would just say, let me ask you this. Do you not see that there's going to be trouble between her inner circle? This episode had Daemon being the worst manager ever. HR would call him in. You're slapping our employees, our generals who are flying dragons around. You're telling them they don't need to think, and you're slapping them.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Then Massaria is really like, you know what, Daemon, I've proven myself to her. Have you? His daughter, Rhaenyra, has partially responsible for Jace's death. I think the Team Black, you're right, has a great week, but there are so many potential cracks in there that do not get too comfortable. How about that? Is that okay to say?
That's fine, but I just want to remind you that 90% of ownership is possession, and they now possess the freaking King's Landing. Yes, there's going to be more machinations. This show is not going to be it's not going to be 2.5 seasons long, Bubba. Yes, there's the things going on, but this is a big turnaround.
This is a big
All right.
turnaround. This is 100% a turnaround.
All
Let me
right.
ask you this. You were
Yeah.
talking about how female viewers, certain viewers may get frustrated about Alicent almost being afraid
No,
to
no,
take
but
that,
Rhaenyra.
by Rhaenyra being unwilling to take that first step. She took it. She took the first step. She is being more like, hey, I'm going to do this, right? Like, and she could have been killed. Let's be honest. If this had been a snare, if this had been a trap,
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah.
could have gotten her multiple times. Like this, she really, once again, she really does owe a lot for this particular crown taking, or throne taking, excuse me, to Alicent, and she might have just
Absolutely.
upset an ally. So,
All right. Well,
I'm telling Mother.
hey, Catfish.
yeah.
We have been asking on a lot of our shows of the MVP of the week. On episode 1, we named our MVPs. A great, wonderful listener, Shirley, said her MVP of the premiere of season 3 was Sheep Stealer, the same one we
It
had.
makes it, Bubba, that's all right. The 3 makes it unanimous.
Heck yeah. She said Sheep Stealer was a stunning, sick dragon. Sheep Stealer took care of business. And in a certain point of view, Sheep Stealer did stop the fighting.
Oh, good point. Good point. By destroying everybody.
Right.
That is a good point. That is a good point. Killing everybody is stopping the fighting. Bubba, for this week, Bubba, I look, I don't know where you came up with your crazy answer for the team of the
Alice
week, but
Rivers,
you
Alice
have
Rivers.
to agree with me
Agree with you.
that the MVP of this episode is Alicent.
Wow,
She made
okay.
moves. She made all these moves.
That's true. That is true.
She got Aemon out of the castle. She was like, I gotta come up with a reason to get him out. I gotta get him out. I gotta get him out. I gotta get him out. She went and talked to the city guard. Hey, theoretically, how would you feel if Daemon showed up? She talked to the people. She talked to the 2 other guardsmen.
Yeah, the
Look, she
commanders,
didn't get everybody on her side, but she took a risk and it all paid off, Bubba. You know, I was upset. I told you last week I don't like it when things don't pay off because of just a coincidence. This all worked out for Alicent. This was a daring, risky plan with many, many moving parts. And you just said it. You just said it.
I did just say it.
That Rhaenyra owes the pretty much the King's Landing to Alicent. So the MVP this week is Alicent.
Okay, that is a good
correct
choice. That is almost correct, but I'm afraid I've got the more correct choice.
Yep.
The MVP of the week is the Triarchy, because their soldiers caused a distraction that allowed King Aegon and Larys to escape. So for allowing more chaos to happen in the show, surviving Triarchy members, you're my MVP. Like, it would have been a real boring end to the show, right? If Aegon was just handed over to Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra kills him, boring, no challenges, no trying. Somebody had to make this show interesting, and those Triarchy members whose boats theoretically crashed into the land, or they swam the land after they were burnt, they thought, well, we could just regroup here. No, let's attack these soldiers and fight them on land. Oh, hey, does anybody want to see what's in that wagon? Nope, it's 2 people getting away. We're too busy fighting. So for being a plot device, Triarchy MVP of the week.
All right, Bubba. Look, I'll roll with that. Bubba, we added something new last week.
We did.
And I was a little worried, but there's enough death on this show that you really don't need to worry. So we have our new category, instant or delayed karma of the week. Bubba,
Yes.
do you have someone for their instant or delayed karma of the week?
Well, you mentioned this character earlier. It's the Queen's Guard person who locked Rhaenyra in a room. I believe they call him Sir Lauren. And he locked Rhaenyra in her room, wouldn't let her go fight. Then her son comes back dead. He pulls her off her grieving body. He's like, listen, this was mine. I'll give up my life. Rhaenyra says, you know what good would it do? And he thinks, hey, this is great. I got away with it, dude. Hey, high five, everybody. I lived. Then as Rhaenyra is leaving, she just kind of tells Mysaria, tell Sir Lawrence he can choose how he wants to die. And it's like, wait, what? I was free and clear. I was free and clear. Why doesn't he just kill Massaria? Because everybody else is left for King's Landing. He's like, I'm alive. I did it. I survived. So for possibly surviving, and how about this? Not being killed on air. If we don't see a body, you're alive. Queen's Guard member Sir Laurent, you are my karma of the week. Good job, buddy.
All right, Bubba. Well, I have got to give it to Otto.
Otto.
I mean, like you said, he was gone. All sorts of things could have happened to him.
Yeah.
What happened? He comes back. He's on screen for about 5 minutes and he gets gone. Bubba, this just goes to show you that you should never assume that things can't get worse. Because you know what? He was imprisoned in his own castle, theoretically by his own people. And he's like, it can't get any worse than this, being imprisoned by your own family. But you know what? He was wrong.
He had one last request. He's like, Daemon, do this. I don't want to be hacked at. Oh, you won't. You're making her do it. Great. Well, I tried my best. Oh.
I mean, listen, you know what? You got to make him hurt a little bit first, get him in the shoulders to set him up. Now, Bubba, I'm embarrassed. I have to confess embarrassment because one of our longtime loyal listeners.
Yeah, who?
That's Patman. Patman at Blue Sky. We love Patman.
Yeah.
He sometimes sends us feedback. You can always email us feedback as well at hello@doublepmedia.com.
Yep.
He sent us some feedback, Bubba, and he had a nomination for something that we should have been doing here on the Joffrey of Podcast for the House of the Dragon, and that is his Joffrey of the Week.
Oh, wow.
He nominated Joffrey of the Week. So, Bubba, for this 1 week, we're just going to let his answer stand since he reminded us that we were idiotic, and we'll try to carry the torch going forward. But Patman says he wants to nominate, and therefore it's the winner because Patman did this. Rhaenyra for Joffrey of the Week. Why? She selflessly tamed a dragon for the war effort.
Selflessly?
Selflessly. Punished that ungrateful child Jace for locking up the queen, and then charitably offered to be the dragon protector of the Vale, redressing that broken promise that Rhaenyra had made to Jane Eyre. So for that reason, Rhaenyra gets Joffrey of the Week. Well deserved. Well deserved, Bubba.
This kind of slides by when Rhaenyra is, sad and crying in her bed. And she's like, husband Daemon. There was this unnamed dragon who, caused mischief and did this to Jace. I want you to find them. How did the Green get a wild dragon? Rhaenyra is Daemon's kid. Is he going to track down and find her? And what do you do to your kid when you're like, hey, wow, you claimed a wild dragon? That's incredible. Oh, it was you. Go to your room. You've got a
Daemon's
now, Rhaenyra.
Damon might appreciate it. Damon's kind of a wild card.
I'm telling Mother.
All right, Bubba, let's, as they say at King's Landing, put your balls in your cup for the small council debate. Bubba, this is a question we asked at the top of the show. How long until Team Green has any chance of taking back King's Landing? Okay, we got Aemon is not doing well. Right. Luckily, he's got Alice, which is good. That's good. Cole, which is bad, to help him. But they are way outnumbered dragon-wise.
Oh, without question.
More people will be coming to the open concept castle known as Harrenhal, but most of them, I feel like, will be enemies. So, Bubba, what you project Team Green has to do to take back King's Landing?
Catfish, I want to, everybody, all these things are saved. You can go back in time. I'm pretty sure after Vagar, I did it again. After Vagar took a bite out of Rhaenys' dragon and killed it and killed Rhaenys, I'm pretty sure we're like, Team Green is so far ahead. This is incredible. Now, I'm pretty sure that was episode 4 of season 2. And now, technically, we're just 6 episodes later, and they've lost King's Landing. They've lost. So I think your specific question of how long until Team Green can kind of be back on top, well, I think a minimum of 6 episodes.
Well, I mean, here's the
But
question, right?
yeah.
The three dragons is a heavy burden, but like you
Oh yeah.
say, those dragon riders have not all been taken quite to the nestled into the bosom of Team Black and valued for what they are. So, do we need to see some dragons switch sides?
Oh no. Well, that would be horrific. That certainly that would help Team Green. I think the big thing is I want to go to a couple of your points. You are right that what they're called the Winter Wolves, all those senior fighters who came down from the north, who were like, we're here to die for the Dragon Queen, and all the Riverland armies.
Yeah.
They are really close to Harrenhal, but I want to point this out. Who knows how the show will exactly do it? When Daemon left them, they were singing and happy, and then he was like, "Hey, the crown prince is dead." Daemon said, "Hey, my queen wants me to go to King's Landing. I'm going to send some of you guys to garrison Harrenhal, and the rest of you, I want to meet you in King's Landing." So technically, I'm not 100% sure most of the Riverland army will actually stop at Harrenhal. There's a chance that most of them might skip Harrenhal and go to King's Landing. That's technically what they were told to do. Now, based on where they are on the map, they would actually have to pass Harrenhal to get to King's Landing. But who's to say that they may be like, well, Harrenhal's over there. The easier road is away from Harrenhal. So there's a chance that army won't be going to Harrenhal like Kristen Cole's army is. But on the flip side, Kristen Cole's army is so. Let's talk. Let me see if I can explain this too well. If Harrenhal is 12 on a clock, the Winter Wolves Riverlands army was like at 11 on a clock, and Kristen Cole's armies was like at 2 on a clock. And one is heading, they're both headed right towards each other, which isn't good. And so if they run into each other without Vhagar, I would think Kristen Cole's army is in trouble. But if Vhagar and if Aemon's healed and Vhagar's part of the fight, the Winter Wolves and the Riverlands army doesn't have a chance. So I think that you could flip a coin. How about that? The bigger problem is this dragon disadvantage. Like you said, you've got, God, I'm going to have to scroll back up to the dragon count. This is ridiculous. Helena has a dragon. We've never seen her fly it. So you almost want to say you've got Vhagar and in the south, Darien's Tessarion. You've got like 2 really workable dragons compared to Rhaenyra's Syrax, Baela's Moondancer, Daemon's Caraxes, Adam's Seasmoke, Hugh's Vermithor, Ulf's Silverwing. Do you even count Sheep Stealer? This is preposterous. So unless something really goes crazy, you're right. What could happen in these 6 episodes? It would have to be drastic to give Team Green any prayer, right? Come on.
Yeah, it almost feels as if they're just going to be hanging on for a few episodes and might just be ready to start going to take back King's Landing by the end of the season. I can't imagine them back taking over King's Landing again by the end of the season.
No, I would have a hard time seeing it too. The one flip side is that we don't really know. You wouldn't think Vhagar, the incredible biggest dragon that ever was, could really take on 3 at a time, right? Like, isn't that the plan? Like, hey, the 3 of you guys go attack Vhagar. Is Vhagar just badass? That
was the plan,
right?
But why can't the plan now be, let's take all our dragons?
Okay.
You know what? And just bum rush the show.
Let me say that'd be pretty smart. Does all the dragons include Queen Rhaenyra? Like, you do have to kind of keep her alive. So I would think you would still hold her back. But I think if you bum rush with all of them, yeah, there's no way Vhagar can survive.
If you want to lock her in a room, you're welcome to it, Bubba.
Hey, let's ask this to the listeners. This is a great question. One of our small council debates. Our balls are in the dish, in the cup. What do you think? Is Team Green got any prayer at this chance? Catfish, the show will find a way because we've got, more episodes this season and a whole 4th season. But big, big trouble. I want to get to my question of the week. You ready for this?
Let's have it, Bubba. Let's have it.
I'm telling
At
mother.
the top of this podcast, I said Otto Hightower, in my opinion, was a very good hand of the king. And I would almost say Otto was not a villain. Now, that is definitely opposite of what the show said. But what's funny is if you don't pay attention to the way the show presents things and you just kind of list the facts, compared to many people, Otto wasn't a villain at all. Now, I know we got feedback from our listener who's given us so much great feedback already. Patman, do you want to read this Patman feedback?
Yeah, I will
get
say
into our Otto debate.
Let's do it. Patman says, R.I.P. Otto, the OG feminist hand of the king. He supported Rhaenyra having a claim way back when to avoid Daemon killing him on the chance Daemon became king. But in the end, he asked for Daemon, but got Rhaenyra as headsman.
R.I.P. Otto. R.I.P. So what do you think, Catfish? Is Otto a villain, a good hand of the king? What do you say before I go into my rant?
No. You know what? I'm really enjoying your rants today. So I want to hear your rant, and then you'll say something smart. Then I'll just try to come up with some dumb, funny comment. But I can't promise it'll be funny, but I can promise it'll be dumb.
So listen, if you disagree, please go down in those comments, disagree, write to us at WPHQ. Otto, so many people say, Otto, what a jerk. He never accepted Rhaenyra as heir. And I'm like, well, actually, the only reason why Rhaenyra thinks of herself as an heir is because Otto convinced her father, who didn't want to name her heir, Otto convinced her father, listen, Daemon's an idiot, and he would be a terrible heir if you die and you put the realm in his hands. You've got to make Rhaenyra heir. So Rhaenyra owes her entire claim to Otto. So, well, actually, shut up. She should be nice to Otto because he got her the quote-unquote queenship. There's a lot of people online, you listen to them, they're like, Otto, what a scumbag. He sent his young daughter to become the new old king's bride. And of course,
he did pimp out his... Okay, you're going to tell me he did not pimp out his own daughter.
Well, this is the trick. He did. You know who else did? Every other family in the kingdom. Every family in the kingdom offered any daughter they had to the king. In fact, Corlys offered his much younger daughter to the king. Do you remember how young that girl was that Corlys was offering to King Viserys? Yet somehow everybody hates that Otto did it. When everybody in the kingdom did it, Corlys did it in a much creepier, grosser way. But everybody's like, oh, we love the sea snake. He's so cool. What? Oh, and let me point out that, yes, Otto did, quote unquote, pimp out his daughter. But Otto theoretically didn't make Viserys choose her. Viserys had his pick of any woman he wanted in the kingdom. Viserys picked Otto's daughter. Otto pushed his daughter to apply for the job. Viserys gave her the job. I'm sorry. Let me go on. Otto,
go on.
I said he's a good hand of the king, right?
You did.
Of people. He got fired. Do you remember when Viserys fired him as hand of the king? He got fired because, quote unquote, snitches get stitches. He snitched to the king that Rhaenyra and Daemon were doing funny stuff. And I'm like, well, actually, your job as hand of the king is to tell the king everything.
That is true.
The princess was seen in a brothel with her uncle by lots of people. Was Otto supposed to not say that? Was Otto supposed to bite his tongue and be like, oh, well, I can't say that. That would upset the king, that upset Rhaenyra. No, he did his job, even though it bit him in his ass and he got fired. That is a good hand to the king.
I'm telling mother.
Now, I could go on about how Otto was like, let's not get too crazy into a Stepstones war that happened when he was hand to the king early in season 1. And if you saw, Daemon and Corlys were fighting in the Stepstones for like years and years, where Otto was right. The crown didn't waste money on this endless war. Common, current events notwithstanding. Finally, everybody really hates Otto because he plotted to steal Rhaenyra's crown. And what I would say is, yes, in some ways. his grandson. It was his grandson who was going to be the first son ever to not inherit his dad's title, right? Like literally throughout all of history, the son, now this is a sexist policy, I completely agree, but throughout all of history, the son inherits the title. And suddenly it changes, and who gets bit on the ass? His grandson. So, okay, he fought for his grandson. Oh, what a terrible thing to do, Otto. How could you do that? The guy was a good hand to the king. You can like Rhaenyra, you can think Rhaenyra was chosen and should have gotten the job, but why the hell you beating up Otto when practically everything he did was something your side was doing, at the exact same time. The other side was doing at the same time. Tell me I'm wrong. The defense rests.
Wow, that was, I mean, I don't know whether you're setting up straw men to just knock them down, but you did a beautiful job of knocking them down, whether they were real or fake, Bubba. I love your passion for this show, and I also love it when people call you out. So if anyone wants to call out Bubba and tell him that he's wrong, that's great. It's not going to be me today, sadly. I mean, not in this one specific instance.
Wait, why
so
not?
Bubba, well, no, just because I feel moved by your passion, and also I loved when you were doing your nerdy pushing up your glasses. I mean, you're really just angry. So you know what? Let's try to lighten things up a little bit, because you really just ranted all over me.
Telling mother.
So let's go to that match game 2, Bubba.
Match game 2. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll read it this time. Atlas Rivers wants Harrenhal.
Yep.
Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get blank. All right, here we go, Bubba. Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get...
Now, listeners, that was probably bleeped out.
Okay.
That goes... That answer goes back to when Catfish and I were volunteering to help in Katrina help in New Orleans after Katrina. Do you remember where that answer comes from, Catfish? Maybe on our Patreon, our After Dark episode, we'll tell the story of where that answer comes from.
Oh my God, that is
the young volunteer who gave us that answer. Okay, so mine was bleeped.
Okay, great.
It began with F and ended with ing. So, Catfish.
No, with in. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let's have it.
Okay, so Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are gonna get...
busy.
Hell yes.
Ring the bell, Bubba.
Hell yes.
Ring the bell. And mine was not bleep. They're gonna get busy. All right, Bubba.
Yeah.
You know what? After I answered the question, I sneaked a peek at the other answers, and I am surprised that we are not going to get many matches to the answers that we both gave today.
Oh, that's hard.
All right, that's all right. All right. Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get...
mommy issues therapy. That's from Nicole, Nightwolf Nim on Blue Sky. So good. Oh boy, this next one. Oh, Catfish.
So good. Gen X Cat Mom says Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get...
sloppy seconds.
Wait.
How terrible. Now here's somebody who keeps it clean. Pat Spinagle on Blue Sky. Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get...
better health insurance.
Hell yeah. And hey, we love newbies. Here's Orange Cane on Blue Sky. Said they're going to get bearing it all.
Oh yeah. I believe that is a bell for us. Yeah. Hamlet is dead. Yeah. Said Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get...
an opportunity to buy a timeshare in the black cells.
And a loyal listener, Nick Fortuna, is so good. Said Alice Rivers wants Harrenhal. Instead, she and Prince Aemon are going to get
a 3-movie contract for the new series, My Step MILF of Harren. Terrible.
So good. Listeners, please join in. Bubba posts these during the episode, after the episode. We're taping the next day. Please try to get these answers in. We love these answers, and we love your feedback as well. And Bubba, we got some feedback on this episode, episode 2. First, we have Gen X Cat Mom.
Oh, wow.
Long-time loyal listeners gave it 10 out of 10 double E's.
Double E's?
Exhilarating episode. I put this in my top 3 of the series.
Wow.
She says, so much happened that it felt like a season finale. As I said, instead of just episode 2. The scene with the pool of blood on the floor reflecting a major character
100%.
during a huge moment was shot beautifully.
100%. That was a 10 out of 10 shot. 100%. Now, Cam Shea 23, her review of episode 2, she said she learned an important lesson from this episode, Catfish.
Well, what was that, Bubba?
Don't trust anyone.
That's a good lesson.
She said they are all shady as hell. Now, she said earlier, she said, as a teacher, I feel it is important to go to school. Rhaenyra should have taken Sheep Stealer to Dragon School before taking him to the battle. She also pointed out your boy, Jance, Catfish. She said Jace's bad decision could have saved his mom. Still could have saved his mom, even though he died. If she had died in the battle, the whole point of the show would have been over. LOL. So she kind of says Jace had a bad decision, but it might have
I like how
saved
you just shortened Jace D. Vance to Jance. That would have been perfect. Patman's got some feedback on this episode. Patman feels sorry for Ulf, Hugh, and Adam.
Oh,
He agrees that they were given orders to go near Harrenhal and wait to ambush Aemon, but they're city boys and don't really have any military training. If Daemon had dropped in daily, which he could do, he has a dragon, just to let them know that they have supervision and someone they can get updates from, it would have helped keep order. Instead, Daemon was too busy partying with Roddy, Oscar, and Black Alley. Sure, that would have been fun, but party later.
Yeah.
Patman was wondering why Alicent was trying to flee King's Landing, since it didn't seem likely that Rhaenyra would turn the screws on her and Helena. My impression from their talk last season was that Rhaenyra really had the revenge need on Aemon for Luke and Aegon for usurping. But it seems to me with Lord Jasper getting info from Sir Rickard on Alicent's plottings that she'd want to be scarce if Rhaenyra failed to take the city because she is more in danger from the Greens.
Good.
That is true. I wondered why she was leaving, trying to get away too. I guess that is the point. Luckily, she gets brought back just in time to see Papa lose his head. Thumbs up, Patman says to Maester Orwell and his back-to-back on with her declarations made to Lord Jasper before arresting the Master of Laws and to Daemon before turning Lord Jasper over to the Prince.
Heck yeah. Those are great. Catfish, we got feedback on the premiere. Let's get to that real quick. We have Conrado.
Conrado. There you go.
They wrote, I'm stunned after watching this battle. A seriously great episode. Seems the plan to conquer King's Landing won't be such an easy task now. Well,
guess what? Well, Alicent's plan all fell into place. Wendy Mills said, I thought this episode was amazing to watch, and my rating would be 9.5 out of 10 for this episode. Whoa. What I call triple Ds.
Triple Ds.
Devastating dragon destruction.
A great one. Great.
Wendy said, my answer to Match Game 2 after the Battle of the Gullet, Jace's movie would be titled A Strong Conclusion.
Oh, all right, PJ.
So great to be listening to you guys on the Joffrey podcast while you cover House of the Dragon once again. Thank you so much, Wendy.
Nick Fortuna, the master of Match Game answers. Nick wrote, the premiere was a great episode, but the best part of House of the Dragon coming back is the triumphant return of the Joffrey of Podcasts and the best podcast theme song in the business. I shimmy with it every single time. Welcome back, gentlemen. Oh, thank you, Nick.
Good job, Bubba. And a listener named Pretty Good says, I don't care about any of the characters except the dragons, and watching dragons get killed is like watching someone's dog get murdered. No more dragon death for Pretty Good.
Well, how about this, Catfish? Prediction time. There are now 6 more episodes left in season 3. How many dragons do you think will bite it in the remaining 6 episodes?
I gotta feel like 2 out of the 3, or should I say 2 out of the 4? new dragon riders are not going to make it to the end of the season.
Ooh, that is
And it may not be the dragons, it may just be the dragon riders.
No, that's a good call.
But it could be dragons. So I would set the over under at dragon riders at 2 deaths, and the over under on dragon deaths at 1.
It will be, all I'll say, guys, is the way I think they're going to end this season. We'll see. That's all I'll say. We'll see. Nightwolf Nim, after the premiere, she says, I recognize Rhaenyra as the rightful ruler. Well, there you go.
Correct.
She continues, but I have the most fun watching the Greens and currently find Aegon more compelling than Rhaenyra. Ooh, well, tell us after this episode, Nicole, because I want to know this. She continues, Rhaenyra needs to commit some war crimes on purpose.
Yes.
There she's with you, Catfish. She said, Sheep Stealer has done more on his first day on the job than Rhaenyra has in her own war. LOL.
I love it. And our last bit of feedback on episode 1 is from Dennis Christos. I'm looking forward to Matt Murdock's musical analysis of the episode score. I feel Ramin Djawadi expanded the Game of Thrones sonic vocabulary and stuck a chef's kiss landing on this one. Struck me as familiar, but also he incorporated some fresh and unexpected themes, arrangements, and textures in the music. So good. That is a good question, whether we can get Matt Murdock's musical analysis back, because he was very down on the last episode, Bubba.
Yes.
Has anyone done a welfare check on Matt Murdock's House of the Dragon experience?
Well, when they saw his rating, Vagar went to Matt's house. And no, I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
Listeners, if you are longtime listeners, you know this. If you've just found the Joffrey podcast, thank you so much. There's so many great Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire podcast. Thank you for listening to ours. Matt has been a huge influence. He launched this podcast, number one, launched our podcast career. But number two, when I say Matt is loved in the Song of Ice and Fire community, it is without question. I reached out to Matt. Now, Matt, just so you guys know, Matt not only was a touring musician, so everybody who knows Matt certainly knows his incredible keyboard skills and such, but Matt also has a full-time job, just like Catfish and I, just like kind of everybody. Matt had a full-time job, and it sounds like he may not be able to come back and give us one of his brilliant musical analysis, but I will keep trying for you listeners and for me, because if you've followed Matt's podcasting career, which goes back more than a decade, you know that he is a valuable resource on musical scores and everything. His takes are always very intriguing to listen to. So that's the Matt update. I will try. Can't promise, but I will try.
You know what? Maybe, we can ask him to do maybe halfway through the season. He can do something for us just a little bit, or at the end of the season, maybe 1 or 2 times. We'll try to get him on here. If he's still watching the show, he's so down. Somebody go and knock on Matt's door and pretend to be a dragon in front of him. Cheer him up.
Hey, for everybody here, we are part of the Double PHQ crew. My name's Bubba. If you want to hear all my silliness about Game of Thrones and everything on social media, you can find me on the handle Fitten Trim. That's FITTENTRIM at Fitten Trim on social media.
And I'm Catfish. You can hit me up at Instagram and Blue Sky at G to the man. That is GEETOTHEMAN. And we'll talk to you next week on the Joffrey of Podcasts.
I'm telling Mother. Oh.
Wow, you're a real Otto stan today.
Yeah, I wanted some pushback, but you just knew I was right.
I just didn't want to face your wrath.
Thank you. That is exactly how Aemond would do it.